Welcome to Ascent. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. Today's reading is about your divine masculine's awakening. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out exactly where they are on the journey, but this is different. There's something we're missing about the process, and I think this is a specific reading type of question. Okay, so we're going to open this up. Wow. Material, okay, 9 and 6. Material harvest and harmony. This to me is the makings of stability and security, the foundation of our companionship that allows us to build that partnership. Okay. Power. Wow. Wow. Okay. Harmony, power. I think this is like the lovers and the strength card. 9 of Pentacles. I mean, really beautiful. And then the universe. Okay, now I don't know if any of you knew or noticed, but I just had the deck and the box because a lot of you have been asking lately what decks I use. And now she shows up. So we've got, what was that? We have the world card or the universe. We have completion. Okay, we have strength, and we have the lovers. And what I love too is we had 9 and 6, and then we have the lovers and strength, which comes together to create that balance energy. And I think it's trying to tell us that we needed to see the 6 and the 9, the two with their backs to each other, where it's like one final shift to rebalance. But also we needed to understand that has to happen between us on our own level first. So wow, this is woo. Okay. That makes me think about the Chariot. That's the common thread between all of this. Having to go the right direction. What do we need to know? Solar plexus chakra. 3. The divine masculine, their sense of self is what is facing some pretty major changes. And I think that is something that is difficult to see and be aware of, especially if you're not in their life directly. But even if you are, I think that can be just very challenging. It takes you a while, even if you're someone's parent, to realize who they're becoming. So this is like, wow, something's going on inside them that is going to take time to be revealed. The other day we got this really strong message about, it was October, I know. What was the other? April. October and April. And a lot of people were like, whoa, like that was when I got contacted. That was, when we had a major situation. And my mind is being brought to it. What are we not thinking of though? What are we missing? Another 9. Look at the golden light. Look at this, almost like the light behind. This is divine. This is how divine is showing up in their life. And I think this says, what do you know about your divine masculine's wishes? Have they changed? Have they found what they're looking for? Because some of you may think that your divine masculine is looking for things, right? We see that 9 of Pentacles energy. We see them wanting to accumulate. But do we know about what it is that they want within themselves? Like, yes, Mr. Lightwork would really like a Dodge Ram truck. That's not always what he wanted, but now that's what he would like. That's the truck that he would like to have. I would like to have it too. That's the truck we're, aiming to get whenever we decide to get a truck. Okay, cool. That's a different story from Mr. Lightwork saying, I want to have the demeanor of, Denzel Washington. I want to have the comedic presence of like a young Will Smith mixed with Jim Carrey. Like he has this different need within himself. And you guys, I don't know if we are aware of how that has changed. I think we may have an awareness of what that used to be like. Like a lot of our divine masculines wanted to be the man or the king of the hill or the OG or they wanted to have respect. They wanted to have power. First you get the money, then, it was like that kind of thing. So this is interesting because we really seen who they are becoming, who they have become. Are we aware of what's inside and how that is shifting their their view of what comes next for them. So, okay, let's get some cards. Let's get some cards on the table here. Thank you so much to everybody who already clicked like on the way in. It is a beautiful, beautiful way to support the channel and the collective. It's a big way on how these videos get to reach other people. So if you want to be in service to others who need information on an unawakened partner, oh wow, look at that. Help a sister or brother out with a like. And if you're interested in getting more readings from the perspective of that reunion happens this lifetime from a DF and a DM, my Divine Masculine also does readings on this channel. He also has several other channels. Go ahead and subscribe. Oh my gosh, what's going on over here? Sorry, I'm looking in another direction. People. I would like to thank Zaida and EJ. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your donations, for keeping us going here and keeping these readings free for everybody. You guys are awesome. Okay. What do we need to know? You know, there has to be a point where this card stops showing up. Am I right? It's like we can go weeks, months without using it. And it's like, hey, by the way, your Divine Masculine is trapped. And think about what we saw. The card that we saw was the light. Every time this card comes out, it explains something so different. This is amazing. Now, this time it's talking about, hey, the reason that they want out of the trap, of the matrix, of, you know, whatever you would call it, wherever they are stuck. This is that Eight of Swords energy, okay? Is not just about them, you know, never go hungry again. No, it's not just about that. It's about them knowing in these moments where they're stuck that they're smarter than this. They're better than this. That, oh, this is not where they belong, and they know it. And yet they do not know how to get themselves out of these messes that they make in their own lives. Oh man. Yeah, wow. Death to their old self. You can kind of see the robes, almost like this is like a monastery or maybe even an asylum, but some place where maybe they went voluntarily and they sunk into this other space, this Five of Cups energy, this sadness, this loss and fear that is kind of taking over their life. When you think about the Death card and you think about that sense of, hey, it is time to move on, but I am gripped by fear of what's already gone. And it's, oh my goodness. So this is saying they have mourned the loss of these old dreams, the person that they wanted to be, the man or the woman that they knew they were going to become for so long no longer resonates with them. Can you imagine the devastation? They never got to reach the fullness of that potential, so they never got to really stand in it and say, I've done it, I've achieved it. But they also used that future goal, like that it was the carrot on the end of the stick. It was the one thing that kept them going. And to lose that is not just scary, but it is an emptiness. So this is what I think that they faced coming into, I'm going to be honest, I don't even think I think that's probably coming from 2020 and 2021. I only say that because I recognize that energy. You know, guys, I've been doing it for a while. I know our divine masculines, whether you want to call them divine or not. I know our DMs, all the different types. So, okay. So then if it's, all right, let's just kind of dive into the year then, because I want to come into now. So what happened? Let's look a little earlier in the year, sure. Let's look at April. We talked about April. We'll talk about like April and October. Let's kind of get some standing. You know what? Hold on. Let's get some standing on where they've come from, because I think there's a reason they brought us back to that. So after that 2020, 2021 era of fear and really shaking everything that they are, which, you know what? I didn't connect the dots. That was probably the season for them wherein they realized that they didn't really want what they thought they wanted. And oh, Kayla, thank you for your donation. I love your cheerleader. Y'all are dope. Thank you. Give me smiles. But it's like, yeah, I think that's what happened in that point. In that season in 2020, 2021, the fears and all of that came about because, let's say that their whole life they were super duper king of pentacles, always wanted a lot, and then when the world changed and their lives were kind of in question all the time, right? That life or death energy we felt in 2020, all of a sudden they're like, I would much rather just go live in the woods. And now that's such a huge change. Like, I want a kingdom on a hill versus living in the forest. I feel like I said that recently to somebody else. And it's like, oh man, now they have to let go of the king that they envision themselves as. So, what was going on as they like kind of left that energy behind and started to heal, but also struggled to see what came next? Oh, okay. So, hold on. We saw this come out when it flipped. So, I think this is what has started them towards, remember the nine of pentacles that we saw with the six, the harmony? And remember, I was like, we needed to see this specifically to see that this was happening on the ground level. So here's what we need to know. This is kind of the flipping and turning and twisting the divine masculines are trying to do. They really don't know a lot of other ways to go about doing what they need to do. So they say, okay, I'm going to go through every part of the pentacles journey that I know. Now, some of your DMs might really lean more towards swords and I'm talking about kind of like when we think about the journey that each of the different suits has. If you think that, they're definitely a king of pentacles like most of us are, you'll kind of know what that means just thinking about it, okay? So if you think about someone who the only thing they know is different ways to go about very maybe practical or using, practical work or like their career to get forward or, has always had a very money driven focus in their life. And so that's what they use to motivate themselves. That's what they're always going to go back to. Even when they're awakened, that's meant to be a part of who they are, especially if you are a part of a twin flame dynamic that is meant to have a lot of abundance, whether it's the intangible of influence or even the tangible of having so that you could make, big moves in that area of the world. Every different part of existence needs light, okay? So whoever you're supposed to be, this divine masculine is trying to figure things out. And that's how this year started. 2022 is a 6th year. I think this says, hey, they were actually more in divine alignment than they probably knew, but the fact that it was so uncomfortable is what kind of changed things. And here's what's interesting. If you're not new to the channel, then you'll know Six of Pentacles, divine masculine's way of showing love. We think about that scale. We think about them being really strategic. But if you're new here, the way we look at the Six of Pentacles is like, if DF show love by Six of Cups, here's a flower. DM show love by Six of Pentacles. Here is one of my last. I have 5 pieces. There are 5 of us, so you get one, you get one. That is love. They took the time. They could have just kept that in their pocket, but no, they came out and they said, it's fair, and this will help, and maybe we can keep going. Oh, wow. This is reminding me for some reason of the 6 boys who survived on an island alone. I don't know why. Mr. Lightwork made me watch that the other day. He puts on random stuff. And I don't know why that comes to mind, but it was like I think the only way they survived was working together. And there's something about the divine masculine starting to have a realization that they need a partner, that they need a goal that is beyond themselves. Okay, so this is what's been going on to bring them into the year. Now, if we think about, no, I still feel like this is even going into April. I don't want to do too many. Let's do October here. What happens as they spend the first, what would that be, like 6 months of that season working through this idea of not just material prosperity, can we see this, but also spiritual prosperity. It's like, what does that really mean to me? What do we need to know? Okay. Okay. So October brought about mental conflict. And I think that this is what eclipse season was meant to do for the divine masculine, to show them where they were lacking in that confidence that they craved, to show them where you really haven't let go of the old thing, and that there's a part of you that still wonders if you made a mistake. So again, the divine masculine who was like, oh, I want to make a lot of money and be the king on the hill. And then they realize, wait a minute, no, I don't want to make a lot of money, be the king on the hill. I want to go live in the woods. Okay. So now they're living life coming into this whole year like, yeah, I want to live in the woods. I want to live in the woods. And they're trying to convince themselves almost. They're trying to get excited about it because they know that their soul is calling them to the woods, but it's like, oh. And then something happens in October where they look back at the year and they start to have this issue of what do I really want? And this is where they finally come to terms with, oh, I really have not let this go. I really have not let go of being the king on the hill, even though I now know for a fact that the reason it never worked out, the reason I could never get to where I wanted to go was because it wasn't right for me. And beyond that, it's not even what I really want. So why can't I let it go? So in October, they developed, I think, a deeper internal conflict that they may have felt free but not all the way free. So, okay. Well, what about now then? All right, that'll be good, right? Let's get a picture of how we're coming into this space. What happened in, November or even December 2022 that we could never have possibly known, and that I think is where we're starting to get because are they really hiding this from us? It depends on if we're in contact or not. I guess if we're not in contact, they're not hiding it. If we think about the mental conflict, I don't think that anyone really tells anybody that they're in mental conflict. Okay, I think this is when you're in denial, you barely admit it to yourself. So were they really hiding this though? But now I look at this and it's like, okay, you're coming into almost a full year where we could have had so much happen between the two of us. You know that there's something we're supposed to be doing together. You know that the plan that you had that was keeping us apart in the beginning is no longer your plan. So what is stopping you from reaching out or deciding you want to be together or whatever? What's stopping you at this point? Well, there's something they're not telling us. What is it? Hold on. Solitude. I want to read it. Because this is interesting. You know me, I'm liable to interpret this as divine masculine knows something we don't. And they're waiting for us to figure it out before we come along. But hold on, that doesn't. You know me. It's ridiculous, Grace. Okay. Keep in mind, we saw 6, we saw 8, now we're seeing 9. Lots of major arcana. All right, it says stop. Your soul is calling out and needs to be honored and heard. The answers you seek aren't necessarily found in the outer world. The time has come for you to step back and withdraw from outside commotion. I'm wondering if this is going to sound so silly because it's probably not tarot, but what if they're like watching tarot behind our back? For some of you, it is because some of you have shown them readings and stuff like that. But what if they've been getting into things that they've never told us? Or they've gotten back into, like, let's say when you first met your DM, they were like, oh yeah, I grew up Catholic, but I'm not Catholic anymore. And I don't do religion. And then they don't tell you that they've started to study or thinking about freaking like seminary school, even something far out, It's like, okay, hold on. The time has come for you to step back and withdraw from outside commotion. Now, how funny is it that I use the example, I think even before we laid these down, but maybe not, of the person wanting to shift from the king of the hill to out on the woods, in the woods. The solitude card is a reminder of how important it is to pause, still the mind, meditate, reflect, reevaluate. Oh my gosh, I just got it, you guys. And discover the wisdom and answers within the very soul of your being. When you become more aware of your soul and heart, you strengthen the link to the divine source, and you're able to once again remember your true perfection. Listen to me, y'all. Meet your soul halfway. Listen to me, y'all. And schedule some time alone to commune with your soul and also give the power of the spirit the opportunity to reinvigorate your life with force, with life force and vitality. Conserve your energy and deal with one thing at a time as you follow the prompt from within. When it comes to moments of quiet inner solitude, it really isn't about quantity, it's quality that counts. The soul constantly draws to itself what it needs in order to learn and grow. For example, during this period, someone may step into your life, and by sharing his or her own experiences, you may receive helpful insight and wisdom into your own. This is the Hermit. Here's what I have out. The whole thing I'm reading, though, is like, whoa. Here's what I have. I go through my whole life thinking I want to be the king of the hill. But then the freaking pandemic happens or whatever, something in 2020, maybe it was something else that messed with them, right? Okay, fine. Then they think that they want to live in the woods. And the whole year they move forward with their life as if they're going to go live in the woods. Even though for some reason they can't really figure out how to do it. And it doesn't feel right. And so they keep going through and they're in the mental conflict and they think, oh my gosh, I just can't let it go. But it is in solitude, looking in the right direction, that they realize something. They have this tendency to run when they're afraid. And there is this very interesting calling out of fear that says, perhaps you need to be right there in the middle. Perhaps you don't have to let go of your old life and your old self completely. And maybe that's the problem, is that I don't like this phrase but you threw out the baby with the bathwater. You see the part of you that was beautiful. Some of the beautiful things about wanting to be the king. And now I think what this is saying is their inner feminine has awakened. Their masculine energy tried the best it could to get them through this year. But their inner feminine really, maybe not awakened, probably, let's say, leveled up, because I think some of them already experienced an awakening in their feminine energy. But I think that's what this is talking about. Even when it says, meet your soul halfway, I think what they're not talking about, not telling us, is that they know more than we think, like, about who we are in their life. And they are reaching this, I don't know if they're aware. I don't know if they've been doing like lucid dreaming, or again, I don't know how the divine masculine collective would go about doing spiritual things, because it's usually going to be closer to like intention setting than it is going to be like doing astrology. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, how are you trying to meet your soul halfway, divine masculine? How are you going about doing that and getting that information? And I have a strong feeling that they are essentially, this is going to sound weird, but meditating on your teachings or the things that you've been sharing or the things that you told them in the past. So this is deep. And I think that this is kind of the issue too. They're struggling a little bit with how in 2020, it was pretty bad since like 2015, the separation of men and women, that 5 years was tough. But when 2020 happened, it just, everything exploded, right? Everything just went nuts. And so the line between men and women has gotten deeper. And I think they struggle the same way some of us do with the idea of, masculine and feminine roles. And what is truly theirs to do versus not. And I think that the mental conflict is really about, wow, y'all, the Two of Swords is the divine feminine in training card, remember? Oh my goodness, I just realized what's on the table. You know how I talked about the Six of Pentacles being the divine masculine's way of showing love? Well, the Two of Swords is the DM in training. The Two of Pentacles is the DM in training. The Two of Swords is the DF in training. Think about her with her two swords on her shoulders. So this is like, whoa. I think you can think about this kind of like the High Priestess, you guys. Their High Priestess they thought they were in conflict. That, oh, okay, they're totally in divine alignment because that means that they had to spend some time in this other side of things. I think shaking loose of old habits that weren't going to go with them into the more balanced dream. And then their inner high priestess intuition connection had to kind of say, hey, 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 you've gone too far. You passed your exit. You need to make a U-turn, come back around. Because there is a way. There is a way for us to do this. And I love that we see this 8, 9, that's 17, and we see this little star in the background. And it's like, once I come up from this, I'm going to really understand what's happening. So, okay, what we really didn't know is that their inner feminine, their intuition was their, what would you call that? Like their spiritual insights were being increased, enhanced. But now I want to kind of understand what this means for their awakening process and how they're going down this path. I can put the book down, yeah. How they're going down this path, but not really sharing any milestones with us, not really giving us any insight into what any of it means to them, what it means for us as a partnership. So, where are our expectations just too high? Even coming from me, the, oh, divine masculines can do it, rah, 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 that kind of person. Where are our expectations of the awakening process just way too high? And remember, these came out together, so this is interesting. Okay. I just remembered that this came out and I remembered the picture, but I did not remember this. So I'm like, okay, did my brain already know that this was happening or what? I don't know. But then I look and I'm like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? All right, who's that in there? Because there's someone in the light, and I just remembered that we've been talking about the light since the beginning. They're the light of confidence for this person. It's so funny because this is almost like this repeating energy, repeating cards, yet completely different situation. I wonder if we did this reading in October. Wouldn't that be fun? That we did this in October with this deck, not knowing that this would happen. So focus back. Where are our expectations too high? Our expectations are too high that this person is suddenly going to be like the walking God man. Okay. They're not suddenly going to be coming in and picking up all the slack. They're not going to suddenly change into, I've told you guys before, like Fabio on the cover of a romance novel. Like that's not who they are. That doesn't mean that they're not going to be different and wonderful and someone who you would want to plan a life with. But don't expect them to come in with a lot of plans for you. They may still only have plans for themselves. They're really just learning what it means to look forward, to plan ahead, especially with someone else in mind. Oh my gosh. And so I think this says, don't think that they've come too far from karma. And what I mean by that is, people who don't think about that, like I don't believe in karma the way that I know some of my followers and subscribers and friends do. And yet I get the picture, all right? And I probably have like my own, Christianese version of that. And that is an actual term. I didn't make that up just now. And so it's like, whatever you think of when you think of the idea of do unto others, okay? Like don't do anything you wouldn't want to happen to you. When you think about that, this person they're not there yet. They're not at a place where they're ready to really care. And because of that, that actually opens them up a little bit to what some would say is like bad karma, or you get what you deserve, or you reap what you sow. And so this just says, be prepared that they're going to have a little bit of trouble letting go of the old way of doing things, but they've gone through a little bit of a shift to show them why. And if you see that in them, when you're expecting this like angel, this walking angel, you're not going to think they're ready for a reunion, but they actually will be. It's just not going to be exactly what you thought. You guys, Mr. Lightwork was not who he is right now when we got together. But according to my twin flame journey, we went from separation to reunion, right? Well, it wasn't until a year after we got into reunion, and mind you, we lived together before we got into reunion. And even then, we were in separation. I knew that because I knew that until he wanted to be with me as much as I wanted to be with him and do more together, that wasn't reunion. That's why some of you are here and you're like, shoot, we're not in separation, but you might as well call it that. You get that. And so this says, if you think that when you get together, that they're just going to be perfect or not even perfect, but so awakened or woke or whatever your perspective is, I think that when I got into my relationship with Mr. Lightwork, I was skeptical that he would even really want to be with me, like for real, not because of me, but just because of his decision to be a bachelor for the rest of his life that he made right before he met me. Like I had my own issues and stuff, but it's like as I went forward in that relationship, it really wasn't about the insecurities or anything. It was more so just about, hey, do you actually want to do this? Do you actually care? Do you care about other people? It's like there's all this weird energy in the twin flame world where sometimes a reading will inadvertently present the future divine masculine as like this sweet, like movie Hallmark channel, positive side of lifetime kind of person, or like that suddenly, like in, what is it, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, like something bad will happen and they'll get their karma and then they'll come running back to you, or, because they'll get into an accident. So they'll have to like wheel themselves over to you and beg for you to take care of them. It's like there's all these weird visions of what the awakening process does. And I think that it's actually just going to be the exact person that you were expecting before you found out about twin flames, like, the closer to who they were when you met, with this little gleam of light. And you can kind of think about it like this is the Page of Pentacles. Like, hey, so I've spent the last year trying to figure out what's right and what's what. And I'm going to tell you, I think this is it. And I think I'm supposed to share this with you. And I think that you're the one who's supposed to plant this because I think you're better than this. It's like that. So I really like to see this shift. But what I will say is, I think that what they're hiding from us is that they know that they have not changed as much in some areas, and they're going to continue to try to hide that. When I got with Mr. Lightwork, not only did it take a year for me to really be able to like see him as a partner that wanted to be there, but then it took like another year for him to even want to help for any other reason than, being able to survive. And then it took another year for him to want to help other people. He was kind of like Jonah, if you know the story of that prophet. He didn't want to go to Nineveh because he was like, those people are the worst kind. It's like someone telling a prophet to go to Las Vegas and stand on the strip, or go to a strip club and tell them to stop. It's like, you want me to go to like, the quote moral worst of the worst, and why would I do that? And so he's like, no, I'm not going. And God was like, well, then you're gonna go in this whale. Anyways, he was kind of like that. It was kind of like, why would I want to go help people as I'm finding the light? All this darkness, I'm not helping them. Who cares? They should have chose light. And it's like, wait, what? And then and it's like, that is the process. That is the step-by-step process. What you are seeing now is one of the most incredibly transformed individuals that I've ever seen in my life. I didn't even think it was possible. It's real, and it's also still that same beautiful man that I met under the 1111 doorway back in December of 2017, and that's the truth. So if you're willing to accept them humbled, but sweeter, but still a little bit of a grump or a Sour Patch Kid in their own way, and still kind of having these old dreams that might seem to conflict a little bit with yours, but maybe if you just give, you know what I mean? If you're willing to kind of take this beautiful mesh of the who that they were and the who that they're going to be, I think that you will be pleasantly surprised with how they come in, and just be ready to make your own plans and have your own plans in motion when they come in, so that you're not having to worry so much about what they have going on. So if our expectations are too high, then what about, where are they too low? Where are we looking at this person and kind of maybe even lowering our standards, assuming we're going to have to meet them? You know what I mean? Two of Pentacles. Now, y'all saw these. They all came out together. So I do think we saw the front of this, but okay. So if you just got here, the Two of Swords shows up and says, hey, divine masculine's inner feminine is awakening or having a leveling up, trying to help them understand how to actually rightfully divide and discern with their true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding what they're supposed to do, rather than just running with fear. Well, now we see that the place our expectations are too low is that this person is not being trained in every way divine would need them to be. That everything that they're doing on their journey is just exactly what is supposed to happen for this person. I know that can be hard too if we have somebody who's been especially un unhappy or unhelpful or abusive or bad in any way. I get that. What I'm talking about is, for the most of us, the average divine feminine dealing with the average divine masculine, they're just a person. They're not horrible, and they're really not that bad. It's just that they're not around, and that's frustrating. But if we think about what has been prepared for them, or how they're being prepared for us, sometimes we just assume either that they're going to come in as this like angel where you can't even really see like what's really back there. This guy just has a flashlight, doesn't he? What the heck? It's like, or we think of this person who's going to come in with maybe like one thing that we need. And this says, honey, their inner masculine has been shifted so many times. They have leveled up 5 times since you guys left. Like, you do not have to have that feeling that they're not going to come in and still be able to knock your socks off and wow you. Remember this, just because they don't change for the better in every single way doesn't mean they're not going to change for the better in the important ways. And the things that you fell in love with from the very beginning are still going to be present in this person. So no matter what you think about what they should have done yet, or how, whatever your expectations are, just remember, anything that goes up a little bit positive towards the good, anything is better than before, because you already thought they were freaking incredible. So even if it is just a little bit, that's amazing. This is the thing that I say to Mr. Lightwork. I don't think it's fair that he gets better. He is aging like fine wine. Y'all don't understand. First of all, when I met Mr. Lightwork, he weighed, I don't even remember, but I think he probably weighed like 50 more pounds. When I met Mr. Lightwork, he was a grumposaurus. When I met Mr. Lightwork, he didn't believe in anything, not even himself. And now he is just, y'all, when I met Mr. Lightwork, he cut his hair and would cut his hair like every 2 weeks. He would not walk around without his hair cut. And I don't, pretty much everyone I've ever dated had short hair, but I love hair because I have hair, and I love hair. And I like my person to look like me. Is that weird? Anyways, so it never happened until I met Mr. Lightwork. And y'all, he is growing his hair out if you didn't know. And he's got dreads now. And when I tell you, like, Mr. Lightwork is, this shouldn't be happening. This is not how it goes. The person is supposed to start to get ugly the older that they get. Isn't that the thing, right? Again, that's not really true, but that's kind of the expectation. And so I think what this is saying is, you do not understand that the person that you met was like this kind of like, the boyish or young girlish version of, your divine person. And your divine person is going to evolve every year, and like, I cannot explain it. And so they're already doing that. You know what I mean? And as time continues, they're going to do it more. So what do we need to know about our true awakened DM? All right. Expectations aside, What do we need to know about them? Obstacles and challenges. Let's read this. This is what is the purple? Let me see. Obstacles and changes. Okay. Is this wands? Yeah, it's wands. Okay. This card represents the obstacles, power struggles, and challenges that you must face in order to overcome them. This could not be a more difficult period to get through. Aw, you guys. Sorry, I just had a little moment. I feel bad. But it's not impossible if you open your mind to see the bigger picture of how something went wrong. They're starting to figure things out. Don't get caught up in it. Just pause and stand back for clarity. See, everything is lining up. This is weird. This is really weird. That's helping them find their balance. Okay, Grace, focus. Observe where adjustments are required or which decisions may need to be changed to enable you to move forward in a positive direction. Life is all about learning. Don't play the victim. Take the knowledge you've gained from this experience so you can apply it to similar situations in the future. This card often comes forth when competition is around you, whether it's in your personal or business life. This is an excellent time to think creatively and ask yourself, how can I make myself shine above all the rest? And that's all they're really wanting to do. Some of us might be hurt and offended that the way our person comes into reunion with us is because as they're thinking, how can I make myself shine above the rest? They think of you. And you think, oh, what am I, just some trophy wife or trophy husband? And it's like, that's what the world would have you automatically think. Now, sure, be on guard. Coming from an actual beard, I didn't even think those existed. I thought it was kind of like either like a choice, like, oh, I'll be your beard, or like a movie thing. But I was an actual beard and I did not know it. I understand that you want to protect yourself. I understand that you want to make sure that no one's trying to pull the wool over on you. But all I can think is this person, if they make the decision after everything you guys have been through to come back, that alone should show you something. Not even saying like that you suck or something, like, oh, they came back, you better. No, the fact that someone who avoids difficulty with everything in their being, being willing to come back to a situation they know they're going to have to work on, when they could just go and find one of the probably hundreds of thousands of people nearby in your city, state, province, whatever, okay? I'm not from Canada, all right? I'm American. We don't barely know meters. What's a meter? All right, focus, Grace. How can I make myself shine above all the rest? Well, I want to shine like a star. I think this person is the right way, but I don't know how to go in if I'm just going to mess things up. And I don't even know how to get to them. And they're going through so much right now. They're just trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, we're over here assuming the worst because we're afraid. We're scared. We're trapped in the freaking separation cycle, I get it, man. Like I said, I've been with Mr. Lightwork now for going on, I've known him for 5 years, and our relationship is going to be 4 years in January, I think. I think that's right. But it's like, it took after that first year of just, you know what I mean? It took a lot out of me after the betrayals, after all the lies, and then he wasn't even lying. That's the worst part. He was lying to himself. Look at where we're at right now. Clearly he was lying to himself. So, yeah, when I tell you guys I get it, I'm totally with you, but I also get that on the other side when they get the chance to have that grace that society frankly usually isn't going to give them, maybe in the rare chance that they actually have good parents or something, great, but most of our DMs don't. So it's like this is it's so stupid. It's so tough because it's us and we have to put everything on our shoulders, and it's like, oh my gosh, I just want to be with you and I'm willing to pretty much put up with anything, but at the same time, When I'm in separation, it's like, I'm not putting up with anything, and it's like, it's just so complicated. And I know that that puts a lot on you, Divine Feminine. And I just hope that day by day, whatever comes up, you are able to face it head on and deal with it without feeling like you have to be overly defensive and that you cannot trust yourself and that you have to protect yourself from your person, and without feeling like you don't want to be embarrassed or ashamed for what society might think of how you do things. So I hope that this helps, because I know that there are people out there who are struggling with this idea of their person coming back and not necessarily being at the level of awakening that we told ourselves or somebody told us or we thought. Or so okay. What about our true awakened, like most all the way awakened, our fully awakened divine masculine? If this is what's being hidden, how hard it really is and how much they've really changed, and how humble things have gotten, how simple their plan really is. What does our fully awakened divine masculine want us to know? Like, if he could come back from the future right now and like look at you and kiss you and be like, I'm from 2027 and I just wanted you to know that you look so beautiful on our wedding day in 2023. And please don't forget to throw those pickles away in 2022 and the end of the year because they expired. And you know how you don't like expired foods. And then they disappear. I know that sounds so stupid because it was. But still, that's kind of my point, is like, if they could come back and talk to us, I feel like they would. And I want to know what they would want us to know right now about them, that they're hiding, that they probably know they should have told us. Wow. Again. See? Again and again and again and again. I have plans for us. And frankly, I'm a lot more patient than you, Divine Feminine. Now, some of you are just like, my Divine Masculine is not patient. And it's like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what comes across as disinterest or nonchalance or whatever you want to call it is actually just patience. Mr. Lightwork, how this is nuts. I know sometimes people get very offended when I talk about myself during a reading, but for those of you who are open to it, let me show you how these things can work. Mr. Lightwork stood on the wall with his leg up, just kind of standing there, while I stood off with a group of my guy friends and was just kind of like being silly. And he just waited. He just waited and he just stared at me. And I caught his eye once. And in my mind, I'm like, was he looking at me? And so I went around the little circle of guys. And when I realized that he was watching me again, I just looked at him. And when I actually like caught his eyes, I was drawn to him like a magnet. Was that disinterest? No, he told me later that he went outside to go stand there to get my attention. But from the very beginning, Mr. Lightwork's nonchalance and, just kind of, oh, I'm just here, I'm just chilling. No, I'm not doing anything. That kind of thing has never really been what I think it is. It is a facade. It is a mating dance. It is how the peacock, plays his role. Let your divine masculine play their role. I noticed that, yes, we do have some major arcana energies here, but I think that if you looked 6, 2, 2, 5, 7, we're kind of in the middle of making some drastic changes in the way that we approach our life. That is a clear sign of awakening. Leaving fear behind, coming into this beautiful, this is master builder energy. And as I say that, remember, until January 16th, from 8/8/2022 all the way to January 16th, 2023, this is master builder energy. Think about it like from the world card to the Fool. In the middle, it's like 21 and then 0. In the middle is 22. That's where we're at. That's where they've been all year. But this last little pocket is where, we plan. And then this last little pocket is where the energy comes in. It's like Frankenstein building the monster and then being ready for the lightning strike to harness the power. I don't know if that's how it worked, but that's what I see. So, wow. They're so close. They're doing so many things. I think it's important to note also that when I looked at solitude, the next thing was destiny, and then I looked at, was it hope or no, it was this. Obstacles and challenges. The next thing was victory and success, I think. And so I want you to know, yeah, victory and success. I want you to know that behind these walls that the divine masculine puts up, and the hidden obstacles that they face, the things that they really don't want to share with us, behind all of that is a person, a real person with a heart and brain cells. And it's very easy to get caught up in the almost like um Americanized TV version of the, the stupid, worthless dad, the unhelpful husband. And it's like, you guys, that's not your divine masculine. And what I mean by that is your divine masculine, your true partner, they are the type of person that is going to want to help, that is going to want to be a part of your life, that is going to view things as a divine partnership. If they're not there yet, that doesn't mean that that's not who they truly are. At the core of them, that's who they will be when you guys are in your dynamic. So if you are a divine feminine, you have a divine masculine, you believe in reunion this lifetime, then you must also believe that both of you will reach that level of divinity where you do this beautiful dance through life, where you get to share and be light workers as individuals, but also with this unique divine plan that you do together. And you have to trust that just like everything you've been doing your whole life, even before you knew that you were on the journey, you already had all those awakenings. I know I did. So it's like, if you can have awakenings, then so can they. Just because they're not in the same things doesn't mean that they're not doing the damn thing, guys. So trust and believe. These divine masculines have absolutely been stuck, trapped in fear. They have absolutely been dealing with the loss of what they thought was their true self for so long, only to realize that they weren't that far off. There was just a lot of stuff that did not fit. And now they are coming to terms with everything that I think they hid from you with good reason, that all of that stuff was simply a book they had not yet finished. And now that they've gotten to the end, I don't know if you remember, but there was this activity in like fourth or fifth grade where the teacher gives you this thing and it's all about learning to follow directions. So it's got all this stuff. And at the very bottom, it says, at the very top, it says, read through the instructions before you start. And then it says a bunch of silly things. And in the bottom, it says, don't do any of the things that you just saw on the paper. Put your name on the top, put your pencil down, and sit quietly until everyone's done with the activity. And oh, teachers would have a field day getting kids to do all the stuff that's in the middle because they do not know how to follow directions. And it's like the divine masculine kept getting these assignments where divine would be like, before you act on this energy, you have to know what's really going on. And they'd be like, nah, I'm good. That is why they had to, because they did it to themselves. Divine said, hey, you don't really want to be the king on the hill for the reasons that you think. And divine masculine was like, yeah, that sounds too scary anyways. There's too much going on. I'm out of here. Abort, abort. And they kind of like ran to the other side. And divine was like, that's not it either. And so I love this. I think that the divine masculine is doing an excellent job. If you think they're doing an excellent job, I would like you to type excellent job, divine masculine. Okay. I think that would be a really good way for you to remember this reading, but also to remember to congratulate them on the work that they've been doing. Okay. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can also type that into the comments. Okay. So by the way, congratulations to Sally O. You won the Uncut Gems giveaway for November. And if you guys are interested, we will continue doing the Uncut Gems. I just had a couple things happen last month where I wasn't able to do them all. Don't worry, if you've already submitted a Uncut Gem, you don't have to resubmit it. I just am going back through the comments, okay? So if you've already submitted it last month and I haven't actually set it up yet, that will apply for the December ones, okay? So if you're interested in learning about the Uncut Gem contest, you can always go to the channel's community page or community tab. But basically it just means that if you think there's like a 15 to 60-second clip of any reading or any video we do that people need to see, you can leave a little timestamp in the comments that will says, hey, go to this 1 minute clip to hear this uncut gem that's in this long reading. And if it's a good one, we'll clip it and we'll turn it into a short on the channel so that people can get that tidbit of information, that gem, without having to watch the whole reading. Okay. That's all that means. And we really appreciate you guys for helping us with that. So shout out to everybody who donated today. Thank you guys so much. If I missed anybody, and Jamie, member for 25 months, thank you for your membership and your acceptance of my coaching. I hope that those of you who enjoy our approach to readings, but I'm not a reader. I'm an intuitive person who is on the twin flame journey, has a divine masculine who also is willing to support the collective. So we're simply here to support the sacred partners, and this is pretty much where the twin flames are, is tarot readings. Okay. That's how this all works for us. So if you want to talk to us, we do phone calls. If you want a reading from us, we do phone readings. We do recorded readings. We do all kinds of stuff. Another thing is we do courses. So if you're interested, I knew I had something. Hey, look at that. If you're interested, I just recently put out a business builder course. And you do not have to take all 5 classes. You could just take like 1 or 3 or whatever you want. Okay. I have some other courses coming, like about publishing books, which I've done, if you guys have seen. Mastering YouTube, as you guys see, I've mastered having a YouTube channel. I know it might not seem like it, but when you tell people not to watch tarot, and that's kind of your shtick, it's hard to build your channel that way. So we've actually done a really good job of building our ministry. The Living the Dream course is about how to work from home. So all of these things are on pre-order right now, but the business builder or business model course is done. And I highly recommend that if you do not have a business, but you'd like to work from home, take this course so that you can build a business that you can use to work from home. But if you're interested though, I also have a reunion journey toolkit that can help you through understanding where you are on the journey, where your DM is. You can use it to help you see if someone is your DM or not. And also where they are on the journey. Okay. Cause that's helpful. So again, phone calls, we do love letters. There's all kinds of different things. Anything you really need from us, we pretty much do it. Again, we're here serving the Twin Flame Collective. We're not readers. So it's not about us becoming like master tarot readers or anything like that. We're here for you. If you need something, we're going to try to make something to make it really affordable. Like the business class is $40. You know what I mean? Like you guys know me. I'm not going to sit here and charge you $10,000 for a course. Respect to those who do, but I want as many people as possible to be able to do what they want to do. And if you're like, Grace, I can't afford any of this stuff, or I don't give money to people on the internet, no problem. You can support us and be a part of this tribe for absolutely free. We have some members who have been supporting the channel for a while, but we also have subscribers who have never gave us a dime, and we love them just the same as we love everybody else. We just want you to know that we're here. And if you need us, just ask and let us know what you need us to do, especially if it's something we can do like a collective reading. Let us know, okay? By the way, last month, the common signature winner is Dana. Dana, are you here tonight? I don't know who's here right now. Who's this? CVS. Thank you for your donation. Anyways, common signature winner. So again, I know that I just was like asking you guys for stuff and people are like, oh no, I was totally in love with you until you did an ad at the end of your channel video. Oh. We support you guys with these free readings, and we also do giveaways and stuff like that. I promise we are not I don't know, whatever you think that we don't like capitalism, but we also need to pay our bills. So if you are interested in doing some of this stuff, great. But if you're not, and you just want to be a part of things and you want to be able to win stuff, comment signature. If you just type 3 emojis, and it has to be the same 3 emojis, okay? 3 emojis on the bottom of a video in the comment section. That's why it's called comment signature. You can win a free reading at the end of the month. So shout out to Gabrielle's here. Gabrielle, I think I saw you, right? Or did she leave? Well, anyways, Gabrielle won last month. This month, Dana won. And we've had all kinds of people win over the last few um years, we do all kinds of giveaways. So just be on the lookout for that stuff. Like I said, the uncut gems thing that I told you guys about, where you can clip different segments of our videos, you can win up to 3 free things plus a fourth one if you win for the month. So everything we do here, we try to do everything even and equal exchange, okay? If you would not mind liking the videos as your exchange, we would totally be down with that. Super simple. That's everything, right, guys? Grace, are you done? This year is about vision, about clarity, about partnership. And your divine masculine, I think they figured some things out that we have yet to uncover. But I believe that this is our proof that whether we want to believe it or not, they have been working very diligently and they have been preparing something that we will actually get to experience and enjoy and not just hear about from afar, okay? Because I know that that can be the most frustrating part, is watching this person live what seems to be this whole life and da-da-da-da-da. And then we're over here like, what the, oh, I got to just watch another reading about them. It's like, no, I don't think that this is about them planning for them. I think this is them saying, hey, I came from the future. Remember to throw away the pickles and just know that I had this plan for years before we got here, okay? All right. I love you guys so much. I hope this is helpful. And if you need me, my email is thefierygrace.com. No, that's my website. My website is thefierygrace.com. All the stuff that you saw in this picture will be in the pinned comment in the comment section and also in the description. But my email is thefierygrace@gmail.com. Okay. I love you. I hope you had fun hanging out with me. How long did I go for? I only did an hour, you guys. It wasn't 2 hours. It was only 1 hour. I love you. I miss you guys so much. Okay, for